Hello everyone! I apologize for the mess that is my life. Rossman, perfect goddamn timing. Welcome everyone, we are going to be doing the Rebellion Call review, starting obviously with Fire in color order, as everything should be. All praise Wooberg.
Hey.
I apologize for the display. I had this set up for another website, but that website let me down. And yeah, we're starting off to a good start with this card, aren't we? Hey Kanagawa, how you doing?
Yeah. Kanagawa.
This is the boy.
You know what? Oh no, we get cut off the power if I zoom in anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adelard, 2-cost forward 5k. I'm about to read this text and I can't believe I'm about to read what I'm about to say, but yeah, the damage dealt by your abilities to forwards opponent's control cannot be reduced to 0. Pay 2 during this turn. If your abilities deal damage to a forward, double the damage instead. Then a special, S2 fire, choose one forward, deal it 10k damage. Did it need a special?
Yeah.
It's just because it's got FFPE written all over it. That's why it's got a special. That's the only reason. As far as the actual rest of the card goes, this immediately goes in the what the hell were they thinking pile.
Yeah. I
Do
think
you know
it's
what-
a case of, yeah, Fire got 3 legends again this set.
Do you know what I really love about the ability?
This is beyond me.
Do you know what I really love about the ability?
What?
It doesn't say by damage from your fire sources or fire abilities.
Yeah,
It's just abilities in general.
Yes,
Yeah.
lightning just went like thumbs up towards fire.
Yeah, but also, like, oh, cool, now you can't, like, no damage my Squall. Oh, by the way, Squall's dealing AK on attack. That's what this guy's being used for, don't lie. Like,
Well, I just like the idea that does Dancer really want to splash fire now?
no, it doesn't. Trust.
No, it doesn't need to splash
But-
fire.
but-
This does pair really well with Samurai as well, because Diane's AoE just goes, I'm just killing everything.
Yeah,
Hear
cool.
me,
I'm
hear me
dealing
out.
2k on attack. What's
Hear
the
me
goal?
out though. Tap 5 backups, deal 10k to opponent's field.
Good. But also, just tap 4 backups, play Squall, I've got 2 cards in hand, swing discard there.
But
Hey,
they're not. But
yeah,
the Squall's
you
not a
just-
dancer though.
No, it's fine, because you can discard down with Squall if you've got too many cards in hand, and then double and double and double and smack. Like, yeah.
I got 2 of these in the pre-release today, and they were my only fire cards.
Must be nice.
I had 2 of these. The one that says damage X sack to draw 2 cards. I can't remember the name of it, and a backup. And I'm like, why?
Oh well. It happens.
I want to
yeah,
choke
cards are
someone.
good. I just like that it's a 5k, because then it means it has an inherent weakness in its own colour.
Yes, everything needs a weakness. I have said this a million times in this game to people like, oh, why couldn't this thing not have the weakness? I'm like, because then the game would not be the game.
Yeah.
That, and it's also a 2-drop forward, so it's
Yeah.
one of the
Plenty of
things
answers
that,
to 2 drops, plenty of answers to 5ks. We
so
like it.
it's easy and clean to answer, but the thing is, the moment that thing comes down, it has to go, otherwise your game is over.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um,
And what's the water fire card that protects fire ones would be a good match with this in certain situations, like in Palporum would also be an interesting one.
Not against opposing Adelads.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
It beats itself, that's the funny thing.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
do like that it fits in so many different. Like it's friendly to all the decks, which I really like. It just
It is friendly to all the elements, except perhaps water, but on the same token, it just doesn't care. Like, you want this to be in a fight, basically a mono fire deck, because that's where all the ability damage is.
yeah. And to be honest, if you're wasting a removal spell on my 2-cost 5k, even if I don't use the ability, I know you can use it instant speed, but if it's not advantageous, you just go, okay, cool, swing with Squall anyway.
No, that's like my thing is like, if it's this much of a threat, I don't mind using a removal spell on it. That's the point. Cards nice.
But it's also on the other end, they don't mind you using removal spells on it either, so it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kanagawa makes a good point. It doesn't matter if it gets killed, you just respond to their trigger with using the ability anyway, because Adelard doesn't have to be on the field to not double the damage. It just has to be on the field to get the damage reduction.
You had to have had a turn. You had to have priority to activate it, which you do get.
You're also implying I'm not going to be playing a lot of Opus 2 Emperor, but I digress.
Oh no! Don't. Damn it. Okay, I thought I was special, but I guess not.
No, it's special.
Oh, this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Speaking of legends, here's our second legend, technically. 5 cost Edgar. Forward 7k. When Edgar enters the field, choose up to 2 category 6 forwards other than card name Edgar in your break zone. Add them to your hand. So, technically, he's a 1 cost. 0 ability, choose 1 category 6 forward of cost 3 or more you control. The next time you'd use its special ability this turn, you can do so without paying the S part. You still have to pay the normal cost. You can only use this ability during your turn and only once per turn.
Oh, I mean, thankfully we got a lot more Cat 6s with S's in this set. One that we'll be getting into later, but this guy's nice.
No, I like
just
him.
Hope you don't get Ami'd. Drop this guy's pretty much a 1 cost. And yeah, just 8k everyone every turn. Or,
And-
you know,
So,
Yeah, go
so
on.
in my perspective, this is basically one of the centerpieces for the new Cat 6 deck. Like, there's so many, because as you mentioned before, there's so many powerful S abilities that just come out in this set, let alone in older sets. Like the Opus 4 Celis, having the ability to just say no to every single summon that's ever cast during your turn is fantastic.
yeah. Or just being able to say, oh, cool, I really need to break this board stall. Lock's now unblockable.
Oh.
Poke.
Also, something, same exact situation as the last card. I play it. Ability on the stack. Ami, respond, pay 0.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you just respond with the ability and then you use your Celis to cancel the Amat.
Oh god, yeah! I did not think of that! Oh, that
Yeah.
is hilarious.
So, I mean, if Fire Ice 6s take off, then, yeah, you're going to be playing this, which is kind of unfortunate. I really like the Edgar backup, but hey, it's a small price to pay.
I'll be honest, I really like the Edgar backup, but I got turned around on this when I saw more of the set.
Yeah. This is
This
why
is
you
a-
wait for the full set before you judge cards. Hey,
Oh, look, I
Yes.
wasn't judging it, I was just giving my... well, we like to give our initial ones and then see with context later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so is it going to be 3 legends in a row? No. Oh, kind of.
Alright, what do we got?
So, Elf, 2 cost EX Burst backup, category 7, Avalanche Operative, job, important. EX Burst, when Elf enters the field, you may discard 1 card. If you do so, search 1 job Avalanche Operative and add it to your hand. Like we needed that. Dull, put Elf into the break zone, choose 1 forward, deal it 1,000 damage. 1k.
So, as resident Avalanche man,
Scumbag.
Yes, but also, my opinion on this has kind of been going roundabouts. Like, at first I thought it was the nuts. Then I thought it was really, really bad. Now I'm like, it just replaces me. Like, that's literally all it does.
Kanagara, it's in either fire or earth. It's in the right colors.
Yeah, no, he's actually right.
No,
on this.
it does-
If this was
he actually
Earth,
is.
it would be nuts.
If this was an Earth card, it would
Oh
be,
yeah, Earth does
absolutely
not need
phenomenal.
any more EX Burst search for a
This
forward.
being
I
able
agree.
to not only fulfill the reduction for, but also tap to play Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge would be too much.
No,
So
no.
it being fire is a blessing in disguise.
I do agree, but at least it's in fire, so it is still in the right color. My argument is not being in Earth is the right color. That is my argument in this.
No. Like, given how good those 3 are, but you're still going to run this purely because it's a burst, and you don't want to play Meath anymore, so, like, cool.
Not just that as well, it's also really important to note that this searches for Avalanche Operative. It doesn't specify forward, so this can also fix your backup line.
This is, like, one of a few cards in the game that can triple backup search, because this gets starter Wedge, which then gets starter Biggs, and, like, you can have a decent backup line at that point.
Yeah,
if you're
also...
running that route, but in all honesty, this searches like this to go search for Wedge, to go search for Barrett, and then next turn you can play the Barrett off of 2 backups.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean,
Also,
And also, Jesse, like... that's
also
a
you
good
could
thing.
search for, like, the hybrid Tifa if you're color-starved or something and need the other half of your color, the Earth.
Yeah.
It does a lot. It does
It
a
does a
lot.
lot, but it's not like too good, which I'm thankful for. Because we don't need an already tier 1 deck getting like
More, yeah.
even more.
You want
It does enough for its job.
Yeah.
Like, it's not ridiculously bonkers. It's not abysmally bad. It does enough, and that's all you ask for in a card.
Yeah. Good comment.
Yeah. No. Okay. Garland. 5 cost forward 9k. If you control forward of 2 or less, Garland gets plus 1k power and brave. High cost bear. The high cost.
Why are we punishing Opus 14 Garland for being so good? Like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Who hurt you?
Like, this seems limited playable at best.
Yeah, like, it's a giant thing for limited, and that's it. Move on.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here's where I'm probably going to differ from you guys. I see this as having some purpose.
Explain yourself.
I will explain myself. So, Icefire Knights was running the Opus 14 Garland, but it never wanted to draw multiples of it. I could probably see this Garland being run in that deck because the deck is basically 2-drop tribal. And then you just drop this, it's a 10k Brave that Dull freezes something thanks to Lastwell. And it's also the biggest beater in the entire deck. So it's an easy way for you to guarantee a discard every turn.
Yeah, but I also feel that mono cost, especially 2 cost decks, take a hit in this set a bit.
They do, not gonna lie, but at the same time, if I'm looking to add cards to my Icefire Knights deck, I would probably consider this card. Not as like a full playset.
It's a one-off.
But
I would consider this a one-off. I was thinking stuff like maybe a Palamporum deck maybe could use this, but even then, I was feeling I stretched. So
the Twins deck wants the other Garland just because.
Yes, because you need actual removal until they're built up. But also, like, with regards to this Icefire Knights, that's also implying you're going to have a hand.
Yes, it's 5 cost.
It's not that difficult.
I agree, it's not that difficult, but you use those resources for the other 5 costs that are more important.
What are the 5 costs that you're running in your Icefire Knights deck?
Physalis and Orphan.
Yeah, Orphan's kind of, like, really good. If you're going to be a 5-drop in that deck,
and Physalis grabs this Garland by the neck and says, "Why are you a card?" and then yeets it out a window. Then dulls and freezes it and makes the controller discard a card.
I wouldn't even run for Salas in the Icefire Knights deck.
Your original one did.
The original one did, yes, but not anymore.
Because with this new set,
cards because I actually revised the curve, and after seeing the Icefire list that took down the event in the US, seeing Sol and Morrow in that deck, I'm just sitting there thinking it's probably better if we do go sort of lower curve. I almost took out the Orphans in the deck as well because I'm not going on too heavy a discard engine anymore. It's certainly powerful while it's there, but it's not the focus of the deck anymore.
And I've kind of gone the opposite end, and I'm saying I've gone opposite end towards the heavy cost, and I still wouldn't run this. And the only main reason I kept the Physalis and I went close to the heavy cost is because it was basically making me undefeated in my locals. So I'm like, why break something that seems to be working?
Oh, of course.
Because I wasn't showing up, but I digress.
Well, why don't you? I'm waiting, bro.
I would consider this card purely as a 10k Brave that procs your Lastwell every turn without having to sacrifice your Lastwell on an attack. It's the biggest forward in your deck.
I don't agree. That's just me.
That's all. That's fine. That's fine.
That's what the re-raise is for.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, for that matter.
Come down, prove me wrong, brother.
Alright. We got our first king. Wow, first king, class 0 cadet. Oh, that's right, they did do some class 0 cadets. Forward 8k. When king attacks, select one of the 2 following actions. The first one is choose one forward, deal it 3k. The second action is king gains plus 2k power until the end of turn.
Oh, Japan hates class 0. Next.
I'm pretty sure they haven't made a black belt this bad since the original black belt.
Yeah. Like.
This is why.
But you type 0. Like.
No. I know what hurt type 0. I point at title on the doll.
Yeah, but still, that's no excuse.
Oh no! I'll give you that. I thought you were gonna say something. No, it's no
There's
excuse.
no excuse to make a card this bad.
If entire format is causing you to warp your own R&D this much, the format might need to go. In my opinion.
I agree with that.
Like, if
But
title
let's
is...
move it along.
Yeah. Oh. Gozetsu, I always screw that name up. 3 cost Samurai forward 7k. The job Samurai forwards and card names Samurai forwards other than Gozetsu you control get plus 1k power and Brave. Okay, can you stop there? Nope. When Gotetsu is put from the field into the break zone, choose one job Samurai or card name Samurai other than card name Gotetsu into break zone, add it to your hand.
Here's where I'm going to be a weirdo. I didn't think the name clash would be this bad, but it is.
Yeah.
I still want to run the backup.
Well, I was actually saying this to someone. Everyone's like, oh, Samurai's going to be broken. They got more powerful stuff. I'm like, no, they're all name clashes. It's not a... It's a slight upgrade, not an entire broken, unless you could run all of them together, which you can't.
Well, all of them except one, but we'll get to him when we get to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, there's a reason to run both, but I still like the backup just because it counts to tens and names. It's a burst, and it searches the best card in your deck. Well, one of them at least.
Yeah. I think it's... Sorry,
Here's
go.
my thought process on this one, right? This and Tenzin is its own infinite loop. You can infinitely loop Gosetsu and Tenzin over and over again. Like, Tenzin dies, gets back Gosetsu, Gosetsu dies, gets back Tenzin.
Yeah, you can do that. Counterpoint. Black Balls 3 and VV does the same thing, and Black Mages hasn't topped in a while.
That's true, but that's also not a fire deck.
Yeah, and toward that end, you've also got to remember, the amount of break zone removals in this set...
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Which we'll get to. But yeah, this set has sort of made these loops a little bit fairer.
Yeah, it's made a little bit.
But that being said...
It's a little more difficult to loop, I'm not going to lie. I think the thing that sort of takes this down a notch from my perspective is that it's a 3 cost forward, and Samurai have famously had problems dealing with Shinryu.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that was intentional. I believe that's intentional. I actually believe that was R&D intentional. But that being said, how many times can I replay the same Cyan? Do I hear 20?
You mean you would just instantly hit yours in the damage and search out the Tenzin that they work so hard to kill?
It's okay, I got another 2 to replay over and over again.
Yeah, it's fine. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's all good.
Goblins! 1 cost Goblin monster. When Goblin enters the field, you may search for 1 job Goblin and add it to your hand. Excuse me. Dull, put Goblin into the break zone, choose 1 forward, deal it 3k. Alright.
Hey, look, it's Flan for goblins.
Yeah.
I think we can move on. That's basically the description of the card.
Yeah. I mean, at least it searches a backup.
Yeah, that's...
Like,
okay.
we have a water backup that does the same thing, so like, hey, if you're playing water fire goblins, this is good.
Got it.
It's also the worst guy. Oh, yeah, that's a late one. Sorry, Kanagawa. I only just saw it, but that's a good one, yeah. 3 cost Samurai, standard unit forward, 7k. When Samurai enters the field, you may pay 1 red, 1 generic. When you do so, choose 1 forward, deal it 8k. Damage 3, Samurai gets plus 1k power and Brave. Why did they do a downgrade on Gotetsu in the same set?
You can't multiplay the sets.
You can multiply this one.
Yeah, you can multiply this one.
Yeah, but it doesn't give it to the others, so...
Yeah, the comparison to this one is the one from Opus 14.
Yes.
Where that one, like, also gets pretty big and, like, has a fat ceiling, but this is also less weak to break zone, which I think is really important.
Yeah, this doesn't require you to have a break zone to actually remove something. It just requires you to have an extra 2 fire CP, which is very easy.
Yeah.
Also, as Kanagawa has just mentioned,
14,
Cat 14 is
yeah.
also incredibly important.
Yeah. Because, you know, we needed more of them.
Like, I think, for me personally, I still prefer the other one. The only thing that I love about this is standard unit, ironically, standard unit and Cat 14.
Yeah.
But you still run both of these samurai together.
Yeah, like, you want names, you want targets to tens, and you want...
Yeah, but...
And this is a really good one.
But the deck has so much, like, restriction, I don't think this will fit in. I honestly think
No.
this gets cut during the build.
No, this definitely goes in. You cut
This
hero half
definitely
of this.
fits.
Which one did you say you cut?
You cut hero half of this. Like,
Really?
Without a doubt, you cut hero half.
Actually, if you're already running Ayame, you cut Ayame.
If you were still running Ayame, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you shouldn't be
Just
running a
saying.
Yame. That was cut
That's
years
fair
ago.
too.
But okay, so you rather this over Iroha?
You don't cut Iroha because like Iroha gives you 2k damage pump instead of 1k damage pump for Cyan.
Yeah, but he gives 1k per trigger.
But you remember the first card we talked about to double your damage anyway.
Okay,
Exactly.
because I think
But
between
yeah, this
This thing goes.
Samurai you actually run into 10 with the other one. And again, like as you probably mentioned, as a sort of design thing, it's a 3-shot card, so it's again inherently weak to Shinryu.
Yeah, just like if you expect a lot of samurais, just play Shinryu, make them cry.
maybe because the build I'm thinking does run like the Squall to Susano and stuff like that, so maybe it's more cut them out and go pure samurai in your builds.
At the same time, Mono Fire good stuff is basically a combination of all the good fire cards and Samurai anyway, so it doesn't make a great deal
Yeah,
of difference.
like you're playing samurais, but you're also playing things like Rain and Sun or something.
And Squall.
Yeah, well, maybe a lure if you wanted to, but like, yeah, card's good.
Oh, I cut a lure out of the samurai deck ages ago. Speaking of more samurais, 2-cost samurai backup. Dull, pay 1 generic, put samurai into the break zone, choose 1 job standard unit forward in your break zone, add it to your hand. If it's a fire forward of cost 3 or less, play it onto the field instead. You can only use this ability during your turn. And this is what I was saying about standard unit probably being good.
Well, yeah, that's 2 really good samurai 3-cost standard units that really like being revived.
Yeah, this with the last samurai is essentially pay 4, player forward, and kill something.
Well, pay 3 Saka backup. And also the Opus 14 one is pay 1 Saka backup, deal 9k, I have 9k right, probably.
Yeah, because you're replacing a Samurai with a Samurai, so...
Yeah.
Don't lose out on break zone. So
Yes. Yes.
At the same time though, like, I do like, and a little spoiler for you guys, this is actually a cycle of standard unit backups, and every single one of them, for the most part, has got a relevant card name, which is really good. It's very handy. I just don't understand why Samurai gets all the love.
Because it's a fire deck, man.
Because Dragoons are too scary. And no one can pronounce the name.
I'll be honest, I think it's actually like us paying for the sins of mocking Dark Lord in front of Kageyama-san.
Nah, you know what it is? They decided, nah, we want to go back to chapters. Tier 0 fire, baby. Anyway.
Everyone's saying that, but I feel like it's not getting to that point where red will be dominant. I still think Earth is the stronger color.
Yeah, but fire's the best card in the game.
Yes. This is the one I was thinking of before. So 3 costs Scott forward 7k. Prince, when Scott enters the field or is put from field into the break zone, choose 1 forward, it gets plus 3k power until end of turn. Damage 3, when Scott is put from the field into the break zone, draw 2 cards. You do get both on damage 3+. For people who are confused. I love this thing.
Who color shifted my Earth cards?
Yeah,
I love this little bean. I want to give it a hug.
yeah. I mean,
And then kill
it's
it.
like one of the most amazing trait abilities that I've ever seen on the most mid card ever.
Yeah.
Like, he's cool, but yeah.
So
I still
the two most
love him.
relevant parts of this card are the fact that it's a job Prince, so Sarah can search for it, and the fact that it's category 2 if you ever want to play around with Rebels.
Yeah, I mean, it's plus 3k off on enter, can help trigger Leon.
It can.
Yeah. So I think this
But-
does... It may not look much on the surface, but I think this does actually a few things and a lot of things, and I like that.
Yeah, I just feel bad that Cat 2 didn't get a lot more.
We
They just
still
gotta
got
know
plenty of
multiple
game.
stats.
We still got plenty of game.
Yeah, but like, yeah, no, he's okay.
So speaking of another legend, Xenos, 5 cost forward general 9k. When Xenos enters the field, you may play one character of 4 cost from your hand onto the field. When Xenos attacks, all the forwards other than Xenos you control get plus 2k power until end of turn. So 1 costs 9k that does shit? Thank you, I don't know.
Honestly,
So, there are arguments for and against this card. If you're playing a dedicated Category 14 deck, I would actually prefer to use the Opus 14 Xenos.
Oh, yes.
Because, like, that is also a 1-drop 9k, but in this particular case, for this Xenos, it's restricted to cost 4. So it follows the same issues that some people may have had with Kirin. In saying that as well, because it's restricted to cost 4, and if you're trying to do, like, fire card shenanigans with Category 14, there's not a lot of fire cost 4s that you really want to play off of this. Maybe Squall?
For
my view is, this goes in everything that's not dedicated Cat 14. This plays your 4 cost backup. Your 4 cost backup goes and searches whatever you want. It's a negative 1 cost.
Yeah, I also feel that this is kind of playing into the let's build a fire deck with more 4 costs and avoid Shinryu. So this sort of assists the other side of fire that is not samurais.
Yeah, it assists the side of fire that's just wacky combo go. Like, this plays Caius,
And it's not one fire character.
Plays Dusk, plays Allure, Shoal, swing for game.
Yeah, and this does not say one fire character.
Yeah, it's any character.
Yeah, so this is...
Probably goes in Soiree, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, good. This plays an L or Amber.
Yeah.
But note that it can only play 4 costs. Can't play 4 or below.
Yeah, but still, like, you go into this, into Adele, into something
Adele
else.
Plays Amber searches Shinju, you're set up. Like...
Yeah. And yeah...
Your opponent didn't have Amaterasu. That's kind of really hard to come back from.
And also turning your 8k soirees that can't be dealt damage and broken into 10ks is also kind of... I hate
10K?
it.
Are you assuming I don't control Aerith? Anyway.
Yeah, they're going to be 12ks.
Oh, yeah.
So this thing is the biggest mirror breaker for the mirror breaker. Anyway.
Yeah, they are swinging at 12.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a fact of life.
So, yeah, I think this does a lot for a lot of things, and it's good that it's at least supporting Fire X instead of just Fire. Speaking of... This should have been WoF, because I imagine this character doing the special from the WoF game for Tifa, just running up to something, punching it, and then hiding. 6 cost Tifa EX, backup martial artist. There is an 8k on there, and we'll get to that. EX burst, when Tifa enters the field, choose one forward, deal it 9k. Pay 2 red, until end of turn, Tifa also becomes a forward with 8k power. You can only use this ability during your turn, and only once per turn.
Wife. Anyway, this card's cool. Like, really cool.
Yeah.
Backup searching backup deals
Yeah,
9k.
we have a
Good.
backup target for Zangan now. This is epic.
Yeah. I kind of... Yeah, I really like this.
Yeah. But also, like, this could just end up being one of the sickest controlling conditions ever. Like, you can go, cool, I could just sit behind this. All your removal was like sorcery speed or whatever? Cool, I'm just gonna keep poking.
Also, something that I think is really important to note about this, in its worst case scenario, it's a backup you can break to replay by blocking.
Only during your turn.
Oh, no, my bad. Ignore me. Sorry, I thought that was only once per turn. I didn't.
You can still threaten the swing. Like, what are you gonna do? Block it?
Yeah. Like it's a backup that still can die, which sometimes is really, really something you want.
Also, here's the neat part. You can animate Tifa. She can still dull for. She can still dull for CP.
Yes.
She's still a backup.
Yes. I talked about this with a card we'll be seeing coming up. When it changes, it doesn't lose its original.
Yeah, it's like the monsters.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I said today. It's like the monsters don't, so these won't either, unless it specifies in the ability or on the card.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless of what it is, this is like really cool design. I love her. I want 3 followers.
Yeah, I do like the joke idea of, obviously, I was thinking sorcerer speed, but if you know they do it during your turn, you tap it and another fire forward to activate it and sack it. If they say like sack a forward.
Yeah. Because, like, oh, they want to break an active forward? Okay, I'll dull it in response.
Yeah. So there's just so much fun shit you could do with this. Whether it's fun shit that'll matter is to be seen, but yeah, Susano, whiteboard, make forward yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This has so much fun stuff around it.
It's like, it's like the old Monsters play of, you Toto, then you animate all your monsters and swing the game.
Yeah.
Same thing with this, except you can just do it in Mono Fire, which is a good deck.
Yeah, because Mono Wind was terrible, right?
Yeah, totally. Bro.
I'm just gonna read through this
I
one.
do also
quickly.
like the idea of it's
No,
back
so.
up, so just back up 9k something.
And back up Punch's face.
Then back up Punch's face. Oh, damn it.
Anyway.
2 cost
Back up
Berserker.
tells you all to back up.
It gets better. It just keeps getting better as you. The more you look at it, the better it gets.
No, bro. Back up, front up, bro. Anyway.
2 cost Berserker, forward, standard unit 5k. Pay 1 red, Berserker gets plus 3k power until end of turn, and break Berserker at the end of turn if you use the
I'm
ability.
just going to say this now. If any Square Enix or Hobby Japan spies happen to be watching this, can we get a good Berserker, please?
No.
No. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Bahamut. Summon type 0. Choose up to 2 forwards. Divide 10k damage among them as you like. If you have received 5 points of damage or more, divide 15k damage among those instead. Units must be in 1k. Please, people, stop asking me this question. They're in lots of 1k because the game is... It's not that hard to assume that.
What do you mean I can't deal 9,999 to one forward and 1 damage to another?
Then play the orc and kill the one that took 1
Yeah,
damage.
bro.
Yeah.
1 damage is still 1 damage?
That's how we do it, yo.
Like, it's just another one of those cards that's like, oh, cool, it's a decent rate.
Yeah.
Like,
It's good. It's a Bahamut. It does Bahamut things. Not bad or good. It'll come down to what you're playing and if you need this specific one or not.
yeah.
I
It
mean,
isn't like-
the blaze you can cast during your opponent's turn is sort of okay, but at the same time, being able to divide the damage, so if you need to deal with a 7 and a 3,
Yeah.
then...
Ping a big, ping a little, like, it does a lot. I still don't know if it's like,
Welcome,
worth
King Hex.
running, though, as weird as it is, because Fire Summon line is insane.
Well, I
I probably
imagine
wouldn't consider this in any summon line that Fire runs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe-
Unless we're, like, going
maybe-
back to full Bahamut.
I will say I can imagine this in a sort of Braska deck if one does come out, depending on what it looks like or what form that takes. Because
It's...
discarding this for 7 or casting it for 10 to 15 is really good.
It's also important to note that you can just choose 1 forward and 10k it.
Or 15k
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, it could just randomly be 10k or 15k.
Yeah.
Like,
It's up. It choose up to 2. Technically, you can do it to 0, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just gonna come down to what we see and in what form.
Yeah.
Because I think Braska is still relevant.
yeah, but for now, yeah, I think the Opus 15 one's better. Cause
I mean, if you happen to run into a random Neo X death and you don't want to take a point of damage,
Yeah.
10k it.
Yeah. Jet Bahamut. Forward, winged chaos, 8k. When Jet Bahamut enters the field, choose 1 forward, deal it 5k damage. If it is put from the field into the break zone this turn, remove it from the game instead. Damage 3. When Jet Bahamut enters the field, choose 1 card named Garnet Bahamut or Amber Bahamut in the break zone and play it onto the field.
So I figure I should just bring this up now.
Yeah.
The other 2 that it mentions are in Ice, and I am so thankful for that.
I kind of agree, even though I'm kind of a Fire Ice fan.
No, like, think of it this way. If they were in 3 elements, this entire line would be completely unplayable.
The only thing that I can think of when I see this card is, wow, they really power crept the hell out of Opus 1 period.
Yeah.
Poor man.
And this also goes to what I was saying before. They're sort of trying to feed Fire X a little bit, which is good. But
Hell, don't worry about Opus 1 period. They power crept Duncan.
Yeah, the power corrupt your boy, bro.
the only problem
Power crept Duncan, how dare they?
the only problem I have with this is it's coming in a set that has so much graveyard hate, so it just feels like it's literally 0 seconds too late.
Yeah. But I think everyone's just kind of agreed that this is more of a fun thing, not like a super serious thing. And,
Challenge accept. No,
I'm
not even that
playing
dumb.
the locals, like, let's be fair. If you get Miss Dragon, you get Miss Dragon. Like, that's just how it is.
Or
But
Edward,
I like
which
it
we'll see.
because it's also Cat 13, so it's searchable.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good cycle. I think it's an interesting cycle.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go out of my way to put it into a deck.
Yeah. Also,
No.
just to point out, it's like one too many words for his name, one too many words for his job.
Yeah, very true.
Well, we're back on the samurai bandwagon. Our 10th legendary now. 4 cost Hine, forward 8k samurai. If you control 5 or more fire characters and or category, I think that's 14. Yeah, 14 characters. Hine gets haste. When Hine attacks, activate all category 14 forwards you control until end of turn. They gain this forward can attack twice in the same turn. This effect will only trigger once. Does that count himself, right?
Yeah, he does untap himself.
Yeah,
He counts himself.
he activates himself so he can swing again.
Yeah.
This card is a very, very powerful samurai that doesn't go into samurai.
It's a 14 card. It's 100% a 14 card.
100% a cat 14 card. But yes, this doesn't belong anywhere near a samurai deck.
Like, doing double damage off Cyan isn't the worst, but I still like the other one better for Samurai because between the new Gotetsu and the old Hine, you're just pumping your field to beyond reasonable levels while wiping the field.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like, honestly speaking.
I literally just took a drink as you did that click. Thank you so much.
Also, I'm just going to say this right now.
Hell
I
yeah.
know neither of you are going to agree with me with this. Star here is trash.
No, I
yeah.
agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Numbers don't matter. And, like, if you're running Gosetsu back up, you might as well search something that's decent.
Like, I think that Hien died the moment it was printed.
Yeah, I played it exactly once.
That's probably about the amount of times it takes for you to realize it's a bad card.
Yeah.
And that was, but this was back in, like, Opus 9 when the Cat 14 engine first started taking shape.
Like,
and
I'm
this thing's, like, infinitely better.
Like, I'm not kidding. I read it and then forgot it existed.
Yeah, as everyone did. Ooh, you plus 1k, let's go!
Oh, get him. Get him.
Hey, look, another
Also helps
legend.
with the new Samurai's Cat 14, so you can untap it as well.
That certainly helps the score.
Yeah. I actually didn't realize that. But yeah, if it's... Yeah, you untap... Oh, is it characters, is it?
Yes, character.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mate. No, I still like the old Hine better for Samurai. 4 cost Sabin. Forward monk 8k. Had to be a monk. The cost required to cast Sabin is reduced by 1 for each category 4? No, 6. 6 character you control. It cannot become 0. Special S. Activate all forwards other than Sabin you control. They gain plus 2 power until end of turn. Special S. Choose 1 forward, deal at 8k damage. And with the last card in the 6 that we read. Okay.
Yeah, so, like, this is why I was hesitant to say Edgar dies to Amaterasu, because you can go cool in response like Chakra. They all get plus 2k.
Yeah, and these don't say these don't say once per turn, do they?
No. Well, Edgar does, but, like...
Edgar does, but these specials don't. And it's also incredibly important to know that this Sabin is a 1-cost AK. It's never a 4-cost.
Yeah, like, you're going to have 3 Cat 6 backups. Like, you'll have Sepsi, you'll have Interceptor, you'll have whatever else.
Yeah.
Cyan would be pretty cool.
No, yeah, I'm liking the 6 love so far.
Yeah, this card is genuinely really good, and I'm
It
quite
helps
happy
that
with that.
it helps that there isn't another good Sabin.
It does help though.
Yeah. Like, before this, I would have said, nah, there is 1 or 2 good ones between them, but after this, it's like, nah, not anymore.
They've all kind of really fallen by the wayside. Like, the Opus 4 one fell off a cliff after about a week,
Yeah.
and the Opus 11 one never went anywhere.
Like, I think they were only really good just because they had 6 written on them and they were just there and fit.
Yeah. Also, like, I already made this joke, but his Japanese name is Mash, so I guess that means I'm just mashing him into every Cat 6 deck going forward. I'm a comedic genius. I'm here all week.
As long as the seasons don't go longer than the war did.
Yep.
That's a deep cut for a lot of you.
Hey.
2-cost Mystic Knight backup standard unit. Pay a red dull, put Mystic Knight into the break zone, choose one forward, deal it 4k damage. If you received a point of damage this turn, deal it 8k damage.
I was going to say this now for all the Square Enix and Hobby fans guys that are watching. Hey, can we get a good Mystic Knight?
I like this cycle. I will say, I like some of them in this
cycle.
cycle.
There's one good card in the cycle, the rest of them are kind of garbage.
Is it the wind one?
Yes, the wind one. Why is there card here? Anyway.
Also,
yeah.
we do have one of these that's good. It's called Moon Knight, and it's in another continuity.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You better start talking about Frank Zappa's daughter for a second.
Oh god. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's proceed to the next card.
Another cycle card from a Chaos group. 5-cost Mara Lilith. Forward Chaos 9k. Chaos. First strike. When you receive your 5th point of damage, you may pay 1 red. When you do so, play Mara Lilith onto the field dull. This effect will trigger only if Mara Lilith is in your break zone. So, just to be clear, this thing's in your bin. It's dead. It's gone. Whatever. You hit your 5th point of damage. At that moment, when you take your 5th point of damage, its ability goes on the stack. You pay to put it on or don't pay and let it fizzle. It's not while you have 5, it's at the moment of taking the 5th damage.
Yeah, so, like, well, I don't have to come and kill Chaos. Square Enix already did it for me. Because, the cycle was so unfortunate, dude. Like,
It had a
it's
lot of
damage
promise.
5. Why did they come in dull?
Yeah. If it was less damage, dull, yes. 5,
This
maybe
one,
no.
I can understand, like, it's a 9k first strike, like, yeah, sure. But the other 3? Nah, bro. Let them come in untapped.
And the only reason I would say that this cycle should have come in untapped is, again, we're in a set that has a bunch of graveyard hate. This isn't as broken as it was a set ago. Let it come in untapped. Like, if they've still got one of these in their bin after you've destroyed their bin, they deserve to get it.
Yeah, but, like, yeah, you also gotta remember, like, considering the, like, the other insane damage 5 effects that we have in the game, we just can't have good chaos either. Like, damn.
Well, I do like the idea that this is trying to, like, work in with the last chaos cycle of discard it for the other chaos to do something and then play it later on.
Yeah. Unless they have different names.
Well, you could do with the
Yeah.
different coloured ones, technically, but yeah.
Yeah, but, like,
At the same time, even though this is a really depressing cycle, this is actually the second best of the cycle.
yeah, but that's only because it's in fire.
By default! Oh, one of my favourite new Moogles. 3-cost Monteblanc, FFTA2 backup Moogle. When Monteblanc enters the field, you may pay X. When you do so, search for one card named Hurdy of cost X exactly, and play it onto the field. You can only use ICP to pay X. I love this so much.
A nice reversal of fortune, as it used to be Hurdy searches Montblanc. Now it's Montblanc searches Hurdy.
He has grown up to be a man.
Ever.
I actually quite like, now that we've seen what the new Hurdy is like, I actually quite like this Mont Blanc.
Yeah.
Because the new Hurdy is very good. We will get to the new Hurdy in a second, but this Mont Blanc searching out, like, it's a backup that searches for a backup to straight into play, which is never a bad thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like this before seeing the other Hurdy, because it's just like, I will always pay 5 for 2 backups turn 1.
Yeah. The thing I like about this, you have viable targets at both even cost and odd cost. So it really helps in fixing your curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at what spot you go search for something, you're searching for something, and it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And at least it has the restriction of cost X, not X or less.
Yeah. It's like, I think that, with that being said though, the other problem I have with this is, what Fire Ice deck does this even go into?
Oh, I don't know. After this set, I think there is a few that might use this just as a backup setup.
Cat 6 doesn't have room. It needs all of its Cat 6 backups. Fire Ice Knights.
Fire Ice Knights, you could potentially see it, but I actually think there's a different deck that wants to run this. Maybe just like some sort of Cat 6 Fire Ice mid-rangey sort of deck.
Or it could just be for, like, Salteus. Like,
well, I also feel that Knights might start shaving back the discard effects a bit more, and this might then come in replacing some of the discard effect backups.
In saying that, you've already got 9 backups in the deck, and you're only running 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's good. I just don't know where it goes yet.
Speaking of 13, 2-cost Red 13 backup warrior. When Red 13 enters the field, you may discard 1 card. When you do so, choose 1 forward, deal at 7k damage. When Red 13 enters the field, you may pay 1 red, 1 generic. When you do so, choose 1 forward, deal at 7k damage. So this card reads, discard 3 cards, play it, kill 2 things, possibly 1.
When I initially
I think it's a bit
read this
expensive.
card, I thought it was... I thought it was pretty good initially when I read the card. Like, I've had a bit of time to think about it, and it's only sort of okay, because the thing that it's directly competing with is Zande. And
Yeah, like-
Zande doesn't require you to expend a resource to deal the 7k,
Yes.
but Zande only does it once.
I think it's very costly. I like it, but I think it's very costly.
Like, I think
It is costly. I would probably, like, if I was building a fire deck, I would probably run it as a singleton in conjunction with Zande.
And you definitely want to play this off 2 backups. That's the other thing.
even then, I'd still rather Ace.
Yeah. It's got too many in the same sort of theme that do better.
Yeah, like,
Hell, just
The
as
only
a
thing I can
joke,
see this
just
in
as a
is,
joke, the 3-cost cloud that does 7k when it enters, or whatever. I think it was cloud.
like, I think the problem is, like, the only thing I can see this in is, like, Cat 7, and Cat 7 doesn't care about Cat 7. He cares about Avalanche.
There's also Blaze. Yeah, there's also Blaze.
Yeah, it's Blaze. Like, Blaze does the same thing, and, like, is far better because it's a burst.
Yeah. Like, there's
Yeah.
literally so many backups in Fire that do this without paying 5.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's just more unfortunate circumstances, because, you know, all the warrior/rebel support and surges forwards. Just, you know, whatever. Just can't get a good
It
red
tried.
13 either.
It tried. But yeah, that is us done with Fire. And we're now moving on to our Ice.